Thank you for joining everybody. I've probably been to a lot of sessions already. My name is Jennifer Hewins, and I am the Assistant Director for Graduate Admissions. This session will feature specifically the members in the Grad Studies Office, and it's also a student panel. Today we have students representing just about every division here at RISD, so you can hear a voice in the student perspective of just about, everyone here at RISD. With that, I will turn it over to my colleagues, Phoebe and Amy, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Amy Horschak. I'm the Director of Graduate Studies at RISD. Phoebe.
I'm Phoebe Snyder. I am the Community and Experience Specialist for grads.
It's a mouthful.
It's a long
It means
title.
she works with grad students, plans events, gives out money, all sorts of things like that.
It's a great job. Love giving out money.
I mean, not just like on a daily basis.
Wads of cash, but grants.
So grad studies we'll make our part quick, just so you can really hear from grads who have, real hands-on experience living the role as a grad student. Grad studies serves the graduate community in a few ways. We work with the graduate program directors, the GPDs, so we work on a faculty level, work with the deans and the provost on everything that informs the grad experience at RISD, especially on, a more curricular and academic level. And we also work specifically with the grad community, meaning students, on ways to support them while they're at RISD, which could be through events, large scale, small scale, things that can kind of push your work forward in different ways. We also have funding that we can offer students. We have a rolling conference and exhibition fund. And we also have grants that we open up in early January, usually late December, early January. And the sole purpose of those is to give money to students to pursue research and various things related to their work here at RISD. Phoebe, do you want to add any?
You summed up quite a bit of what we do.
Do you want maybe just a few examples of recent events?
Yeah, no, so I would love to. So we have a few events to bring the graduate community together. A lot of the times you all will be kind of siloed away in your own programs, and really I just try to take the opportunity to gather everyone. So one of our bigger events is the graduate exchange. It's a great event. We have tacos, we have cake, we have drinks. And it's just a time for the community to gather and listen to each other give quick 3-minute presentations. The presentations tend to be about like what you're working on, what you're thinking about. It can also be a call for collaboration. And it's just a really great way to make connections outside of your program. And we try to start the year with that. So just kind of trying to get you out right away. And then another really big, great event that we do is Graduate Open Studios that just happened. And this is a time where people go to each other's buildings and studio spaces to see what folks are working on. And that work can be in progress, it could be finished work. And again, it's just a great time to see what everyone is up to, find collaborators, find ways to honestly network and just make friends as well. And then some smaller events we do a coffee on grad studies at a local coffee shop. So there's just an hour where we say, hey, come and get a drink, it's on us. And you can choose to sit and hang out, and we have grad assistants who you can hang out and talk with about really anything grad related, or it's just a great time to come and like grab your favorite drink and then go back to your studio. But it kind of also forces you to take a break as a grad student, which I think is much needed. I'm trying to think, any other stellar events, Amy, that I'm missing?
Well, I think it's also the ability to kind of pivot with different things. If grads have an idea for something, that serve, when we say the community, it's not literally every single grad student shows up, but, it's open to to everyone that can serve people in different ways.
And we'd love to hear events, like ideas. We try to, because obviously we're trying to serve the graduate community. So it's really wonderful when grads come to us with event ideas. And that's really like, love that collaboration.
Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention also that Grad Studies does is facilitate teaching experiences for grad students. And it's working in conjunction with your graduate program directors. But students can teach in a couple ways. They can teach a course that's created by their program, and they become the faculty of record, but they're working from a set syllabus. And there's also other opportunities. It's very competitive. So it's also, I mean, I guess everything has some competition to it, but you can develop a syllabus of your own and create your own original course to teach during winter session. And it's kind of a long process of support and workshops and meeting with your GPD and taking courses that also will support your time here teaching. There's also a certificate program through the teaching and learning in art and design department that you can take as well that supports understanding teaching, gives you a certificate, and also and if you're teaching, it gives you support during that time too. So that's a key component of things.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much. I think it'd be great to go around and have the students introduce themselves. First on my screen, I have Ravina. And it'd be great if you just, say, introduce yourself, what program and what year you're in.
Hi everyone, I'm Ravina and I am from the MArch program, Master of Architecture, the 2-year program, and I am in my final year, which is second year out of the 2 years.
Next, I have Lucy.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm in the painting program, a second year.
Deborah.
Hi everyone, I'm Deb. I go by she, her. I'm a graphic design student in the 2-year program in my thesis year.
Fantastic. And then finally, Yuval.
Hi everyone, I'm Yuval. I'm a second year digital plus media. Yeah, thesis year and happy to be here.
Excellent. So this is an open Q&A, so feel free to type your questions in the Q&A section of Zoom. But while we wait for some questions to come in, I do have some queued up for some icebreakers. If you would all like to take a turn in just explaining what initially drew you to RISD for grad study.
I can go ahead. RISD was a school that I didn't think that I would get into and was kind of like a dream school that I was like, oh, I'll just apply because it's unrealistic and it would be crazy and awesome if I got in. And then I did somehow, and then I came and toured the school still thinking that it was like a long shot that I would never come here. And like it was just like an awesome day touring. It was like gorgeous, beautiful. It was like a dream, and I was like, okay, I have to come here. That was why I chose to come here. Yeah.
I can go next. Similar dream school. Was really excited to get in. I had some people I knew who had come to the school for the graphic design program in the past and had a really great experiences and are doing cool things now. And I also really wanted to teach eventually, and I knew about RISD having space to teach, especially like, I think it's for all programs, but the graphic design undergrad program here is amazing too. So the thought of being able to teach in that space was pretty cool. Yeah.
I can go next. I was very interested in sustainability and material culture, and RISD has a great tie-up with Hyundai Motor Group, which allows for biomimicry research, and we have a really awesome nature lab, which was one of my biggest motivators to come to RISD too, alongside the faculty that we have in the architecture department who all have either really great practices or really great research in very varying fields. So it means that there's a choice that we can choose to specialize in very different things depending on who we work with. And the research of all the professors is so diverse that You get to learn from a community that's super diverse in the interests that they have, and everyone brings their own point of view to architecture, which is very enriching to learn in a community like that.
Yeah, I'll go last. For me, I really wanted to have a place where I can kind of go off from my initial focus, which was music and sound, kind of more into focusing into the art and installation space. And we have one of the craziest sound labs that you can find. And I a little bit of background. Back at Berkeley College of Music, I was the artist, and here I have the opportunity of being the musician. So kind of doing the switcheroo. But I mean, it was so exciting to find out that there's a program that can combine my interests both in visual arts and tech, but with sound as well.
That's great. Thank you. In some of the other panels that we've had so far, and webinars we've had so far this week that have had students, they've all spoken about how rigorous the graduate degree program is, whether you're in most of the programs are 2 years. My question for you is, let's see here, I just had it. How do you balance your studio practice with electives, critiques, and your personal commitments while also working in such a rigorous program as well? Is there a balance? Is there a way to find that here? And it's okay, part of what makes RISD special is, being in the studio till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's okay if that's your experience as well, but just happy to hear that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if we're talking about the balance of being in the studio and then being in the classroom, that's a great studio to have. That's a great balance to have. Um, yeah, I would say finding the busier you are, kind of the more you get to do, right? The sense of FOMO of not being in that party or not being in that social event, that doesn't really happen. I mean, opening your studios for other people to come, or having friends over to see your work, and then finding room to kind of focus on your thesis. It's all part of it, right? It's chaotic, but it's also great. This is the time for it in a way.
That's great. Thank you, Yvonne.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like there's no differentiation between those three things. They're all kind of just all together. It's really intense, and a lot of people really struggle with it, myself included. There's like, I think it's really like, I've always said it feels like such a privilege to be here. And there's so many amazing resources and events and things we all want to make and work we want to see. And we're only here for 2 years, and that ends up feeling very short. So it's like it's kind of up to you and like what you want to make out of your experience, and totally fair. It's for some people getting that personal time and is really, really important. So that's, the focus. And for others like me, I feel like I need to be around other work to be able to create work. So I have to go out and see stuff. Yeah, it's intense is the biggest thing I'd say. It's hard to find that balance, and we all struggle with it, but it's a short time, so there's an end.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, I'll just like second everything that's been said. And I wanted to add that like I've been particularly stressed out, I guess, like the last few weeks. But when I think about why I'm stressed out, it's like this weekend the painting program took a field trip to New York to like go visit artist studios, and then we visited like the MFA students at Pratt. And then this morning we had Golden Acrylics come give us a demo. We met like Mr. Golden. And then they came to our studios, and they're gonna like tailor little like goodie bags for all of us of like new like product. So it's like super intense, and I feel like I spend not as much time painting as I'd like to, but it's like it's because we have so many like insane opportunities and things that are being planned and scheduled for us. So it's like, I don't know, just piggybacking off of everything else. It's like stressful, but I'm very grateful, super grateful.
All right, let's see here. Ravina, you've talked about how you've made use of the Nature Lab. What other resources and spaces on campus do you find yourselves, all of you, using the most here at RISD?
I think for me, I used the Nature Lab quite a bit all of last year because I was in the Hyundai program. And also, it helped because we were drawing specific specimens, and it helps a lot with biomimicry for people who are interested in it. You can do very specific things. We have very high electron powered microscopes and some equipment that really helps with imaging and that sort of stuff. Also, a lot of biomaterial research. We have a great biomaterial, I want to say expert fellow from Hyundai, Jess, who helps you with various recipes and experimenting with those and stuff like that. But also, a really important resource to me is the BEB, which is the architecture building, because the shops we have are really incredible in that we have a pretty intense wood shop. We have laser cutting, we have 3D printing, and we have a really awesome CNC machine, which is a 3-axis. So these are the kind of resources for model making that I've always wanted to have. And it's like, it's almost a dream to have that all under one roof in one shop. So you can actually make models and like working prototypes of things you only envision or conceptualize in other schools, but you actually get to make that here. And I think that opportunity is really incredible. Just like everyone else said, we have limited time here and the resources are incredible, and we really want to maximize the time with those.
Great.
Yeah, I'll just say similarly, like the GD type shop, I feel like I spend all my time in. Same reason, like there's a laser cutter, there's vinyl cutting, there's pen plotting, there's screen printing, there's Vandercook letterpress there, like big plotters for printing. It's like, yeah, it's very much like made for making, and it's great.
That's perfect. I think real quick, Phoebe, I think maybe Aria might be in the attendees. I see an Aria in the attendees. I believe Aria Ahmed was supposed to be joining us as well.
Yeah, no, that's right. I don't know how to view the attendees, but I'm pretty
sorry.
sure.
Hi, Aria. Sorry about that. I'm adding you as a panelist now. Hopefully you are the right Aria.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I was an attendee, but now I am not.
Sorry about that. Sorry to
Sorry.
insult on you there.
Hi.
Feel free, Aria, to chime in on any of these conversations. Do you want to introduce yourself, Aria? Your name and the program and year?
Sure. Hi, my name is Ariha, and I am currently in the GAC program, which is the Global Arts and Culture program. And I graduate in like on 8th December, so like in a few weeks, and
Okay.
I'm stressed.
Yeah, I bet. Well, thank you
So-
for being here.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I didn't get in with what the conversation was going on because I kept going in and coming in and out. But can you let me know what we were talking about?
Yes, I was just asking the panel, what resources and spaces do you find yourself using the most on campus?
Mm-hmm. I think as a GSE student, ANL helps a lot because ANL helps you with the writing process,
That's
brainstorming
just to
process.
clarify, that's arts and language.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like ANL has helped a lot of people, especially in GSE, because different people come from different backgrounds. So some people might have a design background and might not have a writing background, right? And of course, you might need help with that. And the graduate program is rather short, so you don't really get the time to do that in class. So I think ANL helps a lot because there are peer tutors and they help you with anything that you might be struggling with in terms of writing and academia and stuff like that. So I feel like that has been a very helpful resource. And apart from that, I would also say the Fleet Library, but specifically talking to certain people in the Fleet Library in regards with research. So for example, if I'm doing research, talking to certain people in the library would help me on how to do the research and where to go for this kind of material, where to go for this kind of material. So I think that also helps a lot. So these are two things. As a GSE student, I used to go a lot.
And to interject for a moment, there was Phoebe, a program that we both forgot to mention that just recently happened, which was a collaboration between Grad Studies, the library, and Arts and Language. And Yuval was one of the participants of giving a, artist talk about, and was around a shared theme. And there was support given throughout the whole process in preparation for the talk that was open to the RISD community. So that just happened last Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it just happened.
It just happened. So,
All right, we
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, Yuval. No, go ahead. Perfect.
No, I was just wanted to say that yes, the Fleet Library is such a great resource, both for research and for those talks, and that was such a great platform for us to kind of workshop our artist talks in different ways. And yeah, I would also say the sound studios. I mean, they're so awesome. I'm a little bit biased, but honestly, it's such a special place that, and not a lot of people get to experience it. Yeah, I spend all my free time there.
That's
I
great.
want to add quickly off of the Fleet Library, the Special Collections Library part of through Fleet is also like, oh my God, amazing. Like there's been so many times we've gone on, I guess trips there, but like just like organized group moments there where the librarians have like curated things for us specifically on like what we're all researching about. And the artist book collection there is just amazing. And then the other part of that same floor is the picture collection library, or like the picture collection part of the materials library. Also like really, really helpful to look through. They just have crazy catalogs of things that is just great for inspiration hunting.
and I have to mention also a huge asset too at RISD is the RISD Museum, which has a fantastic collection. It's also a teaching museum and really works with students and faculty in different ways to access collections, teach from the work, use the work as resources, pull certain things from collections to study. So it's really, it's not just a spot that you passively visit when you're, a RISD grad.
Fantastic, thank you. We actually started integrating a stop on the admissions grad campus tours. We stop at RISD Archives and the Visual and Material Resource Center.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great hub for grad students specifically, Archives holds all the physical thesis books, I believe. They keep all the bound copies of that. And then in the library itself, there's a dedicated space on the second floor where all the physical thesis books are for grad students.
And they're also everyone, unless you specifically don't allow access to it, it's all available on a platform through the library. So.
All right, we have some questions in the Q&A. We can start diving into those. This is a great question. What are you all, they're all great questions. What are you all looking forward to after graduation? I know a lot of you are in the thick of your thesis now. You maybe have given some thought to this. And how do you hope that your master's pursuit would apply to what you do post-grad?
I think for me, the most appealing thing was being able to teach, which I think, is a common feeling among grad students, especially in like painting and like fine arts programs. That and also like, being able to expand and like elaborate on your practice. But that's what I'm looking forward to most doing with my degree, is being able to find a job. I mean, it's like what else am I gonna do as like a painter, you know? That will like give me a sustainable, like stable life. That's like what I was most concerned about, you know, since deciding in undergrad that I'm gonna study, you know, a fine art and get like a BFA. So yeah, definitely being able to teach. And I do feel like also like, at least within painting, you know, we are constantly being introduced to like we met the students at Pratt this weekend. In a couple weeks we're going to meet students at EU. I feel like we're constantly kind of being put into situations where we're meeting other people who are you know, also getting their MFAs and are in kind of the same position, like kind of building our network for once we graduate, which has made me feel a lot more comfortable also, along with like meeting curators, meeting people that work in the arts, who also aren't just who aren't just teachers, who aren't just professors, like kind of showing us the different things we can do with our degree. So, but yeah, teaching definitely is the thing that I'm the most focused on, which I think will determine a lot about how my future looks, you know, where I am able to find a position and all that kind of stuff.
Thank you, Lucy. Anybody else want to take a stab?
I can go next. Since I'm graduating just like in a few weeks, what I'm most interested about is pursuing a PhD. And I feel like being at RISD is a very interesting moment when you're applying for PhDs, because especially in the GSE program, the professors and the facilitators are actually very helpful, right? So while I'm working on my PhD, on my thesis, my professors are also helping me with my PhD applications, right? And I think that I am so sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. I think our professors are really helpful with that, and that is something that I'm excited about. But also the fun thing about graduating, just one fun thing about graduating at this point, see only one, but new opportunities open up. You might, some person might hit you up who met you on like one of the RISD events and would be like, "Hey, are you interested in working here?" You know. So that's an interesting thing, you know, because like these things that you don't really think would happen, they do happen, and yeah, it's interesting in that way. So yeah.
And I know a peer from GAC, maybe from a couple years ago, got a job. GAC is Global Arts and Culture, and it's a liberal arts program. It's an MA as opposed to an MFA. And she now is working at the Museum of Modern Art in their international program. So, you know, people land. So not only, you know, you think of these kind of standard categories of work, like if I'm in this field, these are my three options, but there are all sorts of variations of that. So you could be a curator at a museum, say, but there are all these other types of jobs, or, you know, and then from, you know, what Lucy was saying about meeting people, not just within RISD, but from other areas, it's where you just learn about, you know, jobs and work that you didn't even think was a field, or you didn't realize like that's, you haven't aspired to it because you didn't know it existed. And now you realize like, oh, there's this way to work on programming for, you know, different parts of the world at a major museum. I didn't realize that that was a thing. So
Thank you, Amy.
Yeah, I'm kind of between Lucy and Ariha because I do want to pursue a PhD as well in a research field of multimedia and music composition, but I also want to teach and be a practitioner of my work as well. Yeah, I just feel I'm really looking forward to. I mean, I do have my own studio, but I'm really looking forward to the next steps of it. especially having all the tools that I know now from my MFA, and again, being from a thesis year standpoint, it's really hard to see anything else. But it's definitely a thing, right? It's looking forward to the next steps of the academia kind of way.
For
I can
me,
go.
oh,
Oh,
sorry.
go for it. Go for it.
Okay. For me, I'm looking to definitely work after graduation, and I'm beginning to apply. We have this really amazing portfolio program at in the architecture department where we're working with someone from the graphic design department for them to tell us about portfolio making right now, and then later in March we have a review with some professors and some people in the graphic design department so that our portfolios are really bolstered for application time. And then I find that RISD Careers, we have a career center called RISD Careers, and they have some really great relations with architecture firms that help us with internships and they have great relations with Hutco Architects, Perkins Eastman, HOK. There's a bunch of really big names that we have a great rapport with, and they help connect us with them, put us in touch. We have opportunities for these companies and professionals to review our portfolios, and I find that very helpful to build connections and networking with people in the field. And that helped me get an internship, and I'm looking forward to those events to also help me with a job subsequently because I graduate in May. And I do know that there is another Connect event organized by RISD Careers that happens closer to when we graduate, and really looking forward to that too.
Thank you, Ravina.
I don't know if I have anything helpful to add that hasn't already been said. So
Totally fine. That's great.
I just wanted to add one thing, which is just I wanted to mention the project Open Door, because like a lot of people mentioned teaching, right? And I feel like Project Open Door is really helpful in that regard. So just wanted to mention that, which is a program by TLAD.
Yeah, it's the Teaching and Learning and Art and Design program. We have a lot of acronyms at RISD.
We do. We will be doing a session tomorrow night with Dr. Shana Cinquemani, who oversees the Teaching, Learning, and Art and Design program. And Shana will go into the Project Open Door program at that session. Perfect. All right, we got some more questions. This is more about like a student life and for those that are moving to Providence to do this program. How did you look into housing options before starting at RISD? This person would be coming in as an older student, so dorms roommates might not be right, I think, question mark. Well, you're in a good spot because I think most of our grad students do live off campus. There is a very limited number of grad housing. But do each of you want to speak a little bit about your experience regarding that?
yeah, I can start. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was pretty stressful. It was like hard to look for housing, not physically being here. I know some people were able to come or like knew somebody that was here, so they would do like house tours and stuff for them. I like mainly looked on, I think it was Zillow. I use Zillow a lot, and asked people to do like video tours. Um, at least in my cohort, like we have older students as well, and everyone kind of lives with people. Like some people moved with their partners, and most people have roommates. I don't think that's a weird thing to do. It's expensive to be in school and live here, so really, like I don't think that's weird. And we had like a Slack that we all joined before we moved here, so also lots of people would like find a house that has like 2 or 3 rooms available in it, and then be like, anyone looking for a space, or like people would like connect with prospective students also coming in, or like, sorry, future students who are also coming in, and they would look together. So I think that alleviated a lot of the stress for folks.
Thank you, Deborah.
Yeah, talking with whether it's people in your own cohort or people at RISD in general, contacting again the various people you've talked to in sessions like this can really help just let you know about different types of housing. So the more people you talk to, really the more helpful it is, because anywhere it's stressful finding affordable housing, right?
And I think
it's relatively nearby. You don't want to live like an hour and a half, away if possible.
And I think there are multiple social media platforms.
Yeah.
Phoebe, correct me wrong, but there's one for grad studies where people will post looking for roommates on there. We'll also do for admitted students, we'll do a session with Residence Life. They'll talk about the resources that are available in regards to apartment hunting. There's like Jumpstart or something like that on the Res Life website where you can look for apartments. I think this it's a joint venture with Brown University and maybe some of the other
It is, yeah.
There is a connection with Brown as
It's with
well,
Brown,
because
yeah.
Brown is like, about 5 inches away from RISD. So, again, it's a big population of students all looking for housing.
Perfect.
I'll be honest and say Jumpstart did not work for me. It was like
Fair.
there was like maybe 1 or 2 options on there. It was like very empty. So
Yeah.
that's why I was on Zillow.
Very helpful, Deborah. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. What works for some person, other people can and that's why, again, it's helpful hearing from you guys as opposed to like, what really happened with things. Like maybe it worked, maybe not so much.
I actually found my, sorry,
No.
you go.
Okay, I'll be quick. I just wanted to mention that I found my first roommate on Reddit. Like she just posted and I responded to it. And I was just super lucky. And she was in my cohort, and I was like,
Oh.
Oh,
Reddit, like we'll get along. And then also, there was so many different like Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups to find roommates. And which I would recommend, like if you're not living, I mean, I came from Atlanta, so like I wasn't in this part of the country. I know people come from way farther than that, but even just that, I was like stressed out, and I was like, you know what, it'll be easy if I have like a team of people that we can hunt together. And then I also wanted to say, while you're doing like house apartment hunting in Rhode Island, you might come across a real estate guy by the name of Walter Bronhard. Avoid him at all costs.
So super helpful.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is a scam, and I was almost scammed by that guy. And I know other people who like, or I've heard like of people who actually moved into one of those places and it was terrible. So avoid Walter Bronhard. Maybe I'll even like write that in the
Yeah.
chat.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say
a good.
too, Reddit was great for those things. Like anytime I was like about to look at a place or was thinking about a place, just like search the realtor or the real estate agent or whatever in Reddit, and if you find anything, it's usually a spam or a scam. So yeah, just that was helpful.
And to that, I know again, I can't remember offhand what platform, but there are also, tips that RISD provides and other sources of like what to be mindful of. If someone's promising this, if they're asking for, certain amounts of money up front before signing all of these things that are, you should steer clear of. And especially, if you're not familiar, I mean, there's scams across the globe. So it is just helpful to know about that. And again, talk to anyone at RISD, just like staff, faculty up here. If you're like, I have a doubt about this, follow up on that doubt and check it out. So you were lucky, Lucy.
Perfect. That is very clearly noted. Thank you. All right.
And
Perfect.
I'll just say for the one person in the chat that wrote that they're from Boston, commuting is also an option. And
Right.
it may not be for everyone, but just for you to know, it's definitely possible. I'm doing the commute from Boston.
Oh,
Super chill.
that's good to know, Yuval. Thank you. All right. This is a great question, and it's very relevant to all of you right now. What has been the process of developing what your thesis been like, and what have you found to be the most helpful in that?
I can go.
Okay, perfect.
I am right in the middle of developing my thesis. The way it's structured in the architecture program is you begin to think about it in the fall semester and you have something called thesis prep. So we're all assigned advisors based on our interests, and then we also vote for who we want. They give us a brief presentation, and different advisors have different areas of expertise. For me personally, I've had quite a journey this semester approaching what I want. It goes from like extreme uncertainty to really narrowing it down and finding what you're genuinely interested in. And then for the spring semester, we actually begin the design work on it. So I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. And I know that we have a really big exhibition at the end about it. Currently, my thesis topic is it started off with passive cooling and architecture and design, and how do you navigate energy efficiency with that. But it's currently about informal housing and passive cooling for hot and humid climates in informal settlements, and how do you design with an architecture of scarcity. And what I find is really helpful at RISD is my professors are a really good resource. They help us connect with academics in different universities or people who are researchers who can help you find this data, and also access, contacts and people and practices that have done work in related fields. And I think that that is super helpful, just being able to be in touch with everyone. But also the Fleet Library, like Ariha said previously, the Library is such a great resource for such diverse topics that you'd be surprised what you can find on there. And we have access to this thing called Avery Index, which is we have access to architecture periodicals, and it's a really great resource because you can't really find access to a random periodical where you have data of when something was documented and captured from when it was created or when it was relevant at the time. And these are the kind of things that you just don't find and kind of get lost in architectural documentation, or even practitioners don't put that out on their websites. But the Avery Index helps us have access to all of that online in architecture, and I think that's been super helpful for my thesis.
Excellent. Thank you, Ravina.
I mean, oh, do you want to go ahead, Deborah? Yeah, I mean, thesis is it's a journey. It's taking all of my time at the moment. We have to write so much. In terms of the process, I would say start thinking about it before you're being told to. It's something that I've heard and ignored, and I'm passing on the the tradition of doing so. And because I wish I hadn't ignored that. Yeah, start for me that introspective work of finding out what interests you, finding out what your kind of forte is, and then bringing it up to the front of your practice is definitely an interesting practice. And the whole research creation, because digital plus media is a research based like department. The whole research thing is definitely something that I have underestimated, but I'm so glad that I'm in a space that I can kind of workshop it. And I've been doing these like open writing sessions at my studio for other people to come and like read off of each other and then kind of reflect. I feel like it's been such a unexpected social opportunity, but also such a great practice to have. Um, yeah, it's definitely shaping my work in a way that I hadn't thought of.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm like one of a rare breed here in this department, in the sense that I like came to grad school partially because I knew I wanted to research the thing that I'm now doing. So I felt like I was already thinking about it beforehand, which like yeah, I can't imagine the stress of um not being sure where you are. And the graphic design program, we kind of are reversed from Ravina, what you were talking about. We've been making a lot this whole semester. It's like very much we do, I think, research through making, like do visual exercises to like start to unpack ideas that you're thinking about. And in the spring, it's more focused on writing and developing the book. so that's already like a way that I work a lot. That's partly why I chose RISD, because I knew that was part of the program, was like very much make as a way of thinking. And I'd say that the people that have the most success are those that just like embody that and like don't overthink as much. Because I think that's what we're doing in the spring. So I hope that it all comes together at some point. But yeah.
Thank you.
I'll just chime in about painting. I feel like is quite different than everything that's been said so far, because I don't feel too stressed out about it, because I feel like with painting, it's like, you know, you can go a lot of different ways. I mean, I do consider my practice to be conceptual, I guess. So I've been like, I don't know, it's also kind of a thing with painting where, like, you know, you tend to have like a body of work that you're sort of building over years and years, and people don't usually like do one thing and then totally switch and change and do something completely different. Whereas like I don't know, but maybe in other fields, maybe your style doesn't totally change, but maybe, you know, you're commissioned to work on a certain type of project that requires a certain concept, you know, so painting can be different than that. And, you know, some people have very formal practices where like they're just focused on the way they apply paint, and that's what they're going to talk about. It's very open-ended. I know in sculpture last year, somebody's thesis was like basically just a massive collection of like images and memes and things that she had collected over time and put into like I didn't see it personally, but like into some sort of cool kind of like website thing that she did. So, you know, I even think that sculpture is a little more strict in their expectations of their theses than in painting. So I think it super depends on your department. I'm sure that I will feel much differently about it next semester when I'm actually expected to write something. But for right now, I'm kind of like, okay, I have a bunch of vague ideas of stuff. And I mean, we just started kind of talking about thesis, and just to give you like another idea of the expectations that are put on us, the first kind of assignment is to literally just ramble and include every idea that we have about our work, and then we're gonna like edit it down from there. So it totally varies by department, and some are more formal and strict about it than others too. So
Great, awesome, thank you.
I will chime in regarding GSC and TLAD, because I think the process in GAC and TLAD is rather different, in which and streamlined, because you are asked to think and write about your thesis from the first day of classes, right? So unlike what Yuval was saying, like he was ignoring, I don't think so in GSC that's an option, because you have specific courses just for the thesis writing from the first day of class. So I think the process is rather streamlined, and that helped all of us to develop our thesis ideas before you know, going into the last semester and being like, oh, I didn't think about it and all that. So yeah.
That's great.
Oh yeah, I'll add too, we have something similar where it's not from the very beginning, but the semester before you go into your thesis year, we have to take a seminar like with our whole cohort and in the graphic design department. And by the end of that, you're essentially doing like a mini thesis. Like we write and design a compendium, which is just trying to like get all these terms out, all of these things we're thinking about in all of the project descriptions, critical position, like your foundational principles, like a bunch of writing that's trying to set us up. And I know some of us have like completely stepped away from that, and some of us are like still using that as like a guiding document, but it's kind of like a test practice to get us to start thinking before we come into the thesis year.
Fantastic, thank you. As we're starting to near the end of our session, I have a closing question that I hope will be helpful. This is a prospective student session, so everyone attending today or who will watch the recording afterwards is either actively applying or thinking about applying to the program here. What is some advice you would give to somebody who is going through that process right now? If you go back in time to yourselves who are applying, what advice would you give?
I don't know, start early, maybe. Ask for your recommendation letters earlier than you think. Some
Fabulous
people
advice.
are slow.
That's a really
Um,
good point. Yeah.
and I had a mix of like people who were just like immediately did it, and then people that were like, I need you to send me your portfolio, I need you to send me your statement of purpose, I want to like look through it so I understand what I'm writing about you for. So yeah, just like start earlier than you think. And for GED specifically, like the documentation of your work matters so much. I don't know about the other programs, but they were really like the way you present your work is just as important, if not more, than the work itself. That was like, yeah, really important for us.
Really great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, I would actually, the way that you present, I want to like enforce that, like reinforce that. Yes, the way that you present your stuff is such an important aspect of your portfolio. Like if it has a bad sound, it won't be listened to. If it has a bad visual, like if it's pixelated, it will be, looked over. Like yeah, to show respect to your work in your portfolio. I feel like it's such an important piece of advice that not and too many people are not paying attention to it.
And think about, you have faculty who are looking at so many applications. And if something's, it's difficult to read, links aren't working, whatever it happens to be, that's a very easy, like, we have so many great ones and it's easy to pass by something like that. And also following directions, which is another thing. Like, again, think about people reading so many of these. And if they're like getting confused by what you've submitted or something like that, it can really prevent your application from moving forward.
I feel like everything I'm saying is super tailored to painting and like fine arts, but that's because that's the program I'm in. But with painting specifically, my suggestion would be to include in your application, I mean, this is maybe not everyone would even agree with me on this, but I would say like choose a body of work that you're able to talk about and describe, that's strong and like precise, basically, because of two things. One thing is that still our applications get brought up in our crits today, and that if that'll make an impact on the rest of your like time at RISD. Someone's knocking on my door. But also like the other thing is that when I was in my interview, they just asked me immediately, okay, describe this work to us, tell us about this work. And so it was helpful that mine was like a concise kind of body of work to talk about. Those would be like, yeah, that would be my piece of advice.
Really helpful. Thank you.
Actually, if you don't mind, I'll just talk about a different side of it, which is I know how stressful it is, and we all know how stressful it is to apply to those programs and how much you're invested in it. But also, once you submit it, detach from it. Like, go on walks, take care of yourselves. Like, it's so easy to get lost in this, like, oh, what they're gonna say. Am I in? Am I waitlisted? Am I like, should be your first priority, like yourself, and take care of yourself. And it's something that's not being said often.
Excellent advice. Thank you, Yuval. All right, I think that might do it for us. We're just about at time. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I hope you found this session helpful. Like all of our sessions, it will be recorded and posted to the YouTube playlist that we'll be sharing out with everybody. I want to thank my panelists today, Amy, Phoebe, Ravina, Lucy, Deborah, Yuval, and Aria. Thank you so much for spending your evening with me a Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. I know how busy you all are. And I'm sure you appreciated these sessions when you were applying, hopefully. So everybody else, you can see right now in the chat, everyone's saying thank you so much. And so, yes, I can't thank you again enough. And I'll see everybody else at the next session. We've got 2 more days of these open house sessions, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.
Take
Thanks.
care.
Goodbye, everyone.